5 standard. Okay, let's roll here. 5 standard. Boom. All right. Let's go here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I was ready to double the points. Let's try the Sicilian. Sicilian what? Najdorf. Open Sicilian most likely, or is there going to be bishop b5? No. Knight c3, and then decision time for black. Najdorf. a6. Now what? Many choices for white. Okay, we are well within theory here, and I don't know a whole lot about it really beyond this bishop being on e6, the knight playing here. There are some there are some ideas of f3, g4 for white. I know that black has opportunities to maybe put a halt to that g4 move with h5. And I think this is a bit off. I can't be certain of it, but something tells me it's a bit off because it's obstructing the queen's view of the d5 square, and I don't know that that's a good thing to be doing. Because one thing that I have available to me, at least right now, is this d5 move. Maybe. I don't like doing it right away. I don't like that this knight could be making use of the c5 square, maybe after capturing, or maybe even doing it immediately. No, actually, probably capturing first, but just more development. This is still something I am thinking about, d5, the liberating move. If f4 is played, I think I chop and then occupy e5. So what does my opponent have in store for me? Are they considering queenside castle? That is my first thought. You know, reserving the option. They are not yet giving me, they're not yet giving away the address of their king. So to that I say, let's play my bishop to the only square it could go to. And I'm going to remain flexible with my other moves. b5, queen c7, rook c8 are on my mind here. And here we go. So if I don't do something quickly, I think f5 is going to force my bishop to have to take the knight. Well, that's for certain. And I don't want to give up my light square bishop so easily. So to that, I need to chop. And now next up, occupy e5. There we go. So d5, at any moment, this guy could turn into a monster. He could turn into a monster. My opponent is watching over g4, so I'm getting the sense that they really do want to castle queenside. They don't want to deal with this skewer, though. Understandable. Very, very understandable. I could chop this guy at any moment, but I like him too much. He's a tall pawn. He's a strong knight. So, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? b5, b4. No. Let's castle. Let us castle. Queen c7, rook c8, b5, b4. Maybe a4, maybe a5, a4. This knight's going to be coming there. There we go. Okay. Well, alright. My bishop needs to stay put. Needs to stay put, that bishop. Maybe I should have considered like rook e8 or something. Is my opponent going to castle yet? I really just want to know where they're going. Okay, thank you. Now I have at least... I'm finding comfort in knowing that my opponent castled, actually. Because now I have at least a little bit more direction. I know where he now resides, and I'm coming to get him. Let's go, king. Ah! Who benefits as a result of this exchange? I think I do. Because, A, this knight no longer has the opportunity to centralize itself on d5. B, I have an open file for my rook that did not need to make any moves, and it's just all of a sudden working. And, well, I don't have a C point to be making. So I'm wondering if my opponent was going for this because they're seeing that these doubled pawns are maybe a liability, when really they're fantastic. So, you know, don't always cringe when you see doubled pawns. Look at how valuable these guys are. Look at how useful this doubled pawn is, especially pawns doubled in the center. Look at the squares that they're controlling. F4, F5, D4, D5. This knight is dead to the game. This bishop, same thing. Where does it go? The knight has one move. These two pieces have a total of one move available to them. Now, F4 is weakened as a result of this last square, so my thoughts are being centered around this F4 square. And to start, I could play knight E7. I would absolutely love to get a knight right there, but I don't see how to really do that. But a rook there would be good as well, or even a bishop. So here we go. Time to maneuver the knight. This is a case of middle game planning at this point. And what will often be a very good thing to do in the middle game is find ways to make piece improvements, the placement of your pieces. How can you do better with their placement? My knight definitely needs some more work. I'm doing a couple things. My rook has sight of this square. My bishop can come to here at some point, and this is now all the more appealing if I could get my bishop here. H6 would facilitate this move. The downside is that I'm providing something to bite at for my opponent. They could stop my plan of bishop G5, and they could then look to play here at a later point and open lines up. I want to keep these guys sitting right where they're at. But this is good. And I'm going to double up next. Or, yeah, I'm going to double up. Do I want to do that? Actually, I might want to do something like this. That could be pretty sneaky. Bishop to G5. I might have some tricks up my sleeve. Oh, wait a second. Are they planning this? I might have missed that. Why didn't I realize that there's some pressure on this file here? Let's get out of that. Oh, well. All right, so now. Where does this knight think it's going to go? Uh-oh. Get out of there, knight. You need to go to... He needs to go home, basically. Go home, knight. And next, I'm just going to throw these A and B pawns down. Because I can, and because it's good. The closer I get to my opponent's pawns, the more likely it's the case I am able to create open files. I'd like to create a dark square weakness. And these pawns are... I'm not afraid of these guys. I could be taking this, but I'm just kind of... I don't care about that. I do not care about that. Pawn push. Which one do I go with? I got a minute. Hang on. We're both under a minute. I have a little bit of an edge, time-wise. I'd love to play here. Can I get rid of that bishop? Oh, I got a sneaky move. Sneaky move. Rook takes rook is a loser. Bishop here is pretty deadly, isn't it? It's gotta be. Let's pre-move that. I have all these entry points guarded, by the way, and the queen definitely has to move. And the queen definitely didn't move. So, time pressure. Time pressure. Okay. I am not afraid of coming out in the center if I could be assured that the queen is no longer on the board. So that's about it, right? Pin and then win of the queen, and pinned pieces should stay pinned. So let's go with that. The knight is also pinned. I'm going to keep it pinned. Queen isn't going to go anywhere. Okay, now we take, and then take again. I'm threatening rook takes. Now we got this. Rook takes. Uh-oh. The whole house is going. One by one. My opponent is running. Still running. Check, check, and close to mate, right? Resignation. Okay. Good game, Elaine. Let's see. Let us see. Let me go back. Let me go back. And we'll see where we could maybe make improvements here. Backing up. Okay. So, Najdorf, so far so book. I'm not sure of this move. Really just not sure of this move. Might want to consider bishop e2 if anything. And ideas of g4, g5 expansions. I've also, I think, seen a4. But first, all right, hang on. I think first something like f3, just to stop maybe even me from trying like knight g4 stuff, just to secure this bishop's position. Again, I don't like the fact that this bishop was kind of blocking the queen's view of this file, of the d5 square. So I think there's a4, there's f3, there's bishop e2. I'm just not so sure about bishop d3. I could be off with that. This is maybe still a line. White is definitely doing well. They're getting all their pieces out. But I think things definitely start to go astray in this middle game. And in fact, as soon as that move was played, I'm almost 100% certain that black is better. It's just too valuable a pawn right now to have. It's like this one pawn is taking out your knight. And it's not accessible. How do you even get at it? And then giving up the dark square bishop. This is definitely good for me. These doubled pawns are very valuable. Very, very valuable. So the improvement is maybe this. How about after queenside castle and b5, don't take that. Instead, maybe it's worth considering something like, how about g4? How about g4? And then knight to f5. Look at how much different things would be then. g4, and then maybe this knight f5 move, which is in my territory. I start to cringe whenever I see a piece on one of my 4 ranks of the board. And you should too, if you're a chess player. Really, because it's like the beginning of bad things happening to you. So I think g4 and then knight here, if I take, you recapture towards the center, and then you have a file to work with. And if I don't take, well, I have a lot of pressure on me, do I not? I think that's something to look into. I think.